Hey everybody, it's your boy Kevin Jackson, host of the Launchpad podcast, here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Happy Halloween.
Can't wait. Let's make sure we play like the New York Jets.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the pad. I am your host, Kevin Jackson, aka Spotty Blackman, as you see right there at the bottom. I want to welcome you back to the show on what obviously I think is probably one of the most frustrating victories that we've had in recent memory here. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody for calling tonight. Y'all know this is a live call-in show. You can reach us at 201-256-1799. Before we get it popping, I have to do my due diligence and bring in my boy, the super producer, J.R. Brower, my guy. Welcome
What's
back.
going
How you
on?
feeling?
What's going on? Not too bad, man. I kind of feel it's kind of like lopsided for me. I feel great with the victory, but I also feel a little down with these many injuries we had with two key players, two Pro Bowlers. I
Man.
thought would be this year too.
Yeah, actually, my prediction of offensive and defensive rookie of the year kind of went up in a little bit of a smoke there.
Yes.
But with that being said, I'm a man of faith. I'm gonna throw up a couple of pairs for Brees and hope that everything works out well for him going forward with his recovery, and
Yes.
that as we come back into next season, he and Elijah Verituck, I'm gonna throw them both up. We'll hope that they'll be able to come back at full strength and ready to go for next season. So, really disappointing news, obviously, but with that also, I think what kind of rounds out to be, I guess, maybe a still impressive victory with 16-9 over one of the toughest defensive teams in the league in the Denver Broncos. Look, it's a hard fought victory. Yeah, and before Brees went out, I think he actually won the game for us with that 62-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, really difficult. I had him on my fantasy, and I know that that's not as important, but he still kind of showed up for me, and that is even more of a reason why I think his impact is going to be missed as much as it actually is going to be. Already in the chat tonight, my Guy Fisher. Appreciate you, bruh. As always, thank you for joining us. You guys know if you already know if you guys are in the comments, what have you, hit us up, and we'll respond and we'll kind of chit chat. We'll talk. We'll do all of those things. We're gonna kind of jump in just a little bit to some of the statistical breakdowns from the game, and some questions as to not only what happened during this particular game, but what it is that we can expect going forward in the second half. Look, 16-9. Obviously, a defensive battle. The breakdown for that play on the touchdown from Brees Hall was really an impressive show of what teamwork actually can do. I think that gives us a little bit of a positive kind of outlook on really what's possible going forward. And hopefully, what it is that we'll have is the next man up mentality, and these guys that are going to step into these roles are going to be able to play at least at a level that will allow us to remain competitive. I believe the new guy Ogbueyi, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, Ogbueyi, is going to be stepping into the right tackle role that's going to be vacated by Elijah Vera Tucker. Obviously, we still have Nate Herbig, who is doing a phenomenal job of manning that right guard position. Still McGovern at the center, and Lakin Tomlinson, who I'll be honest with you, I'm a little disappointed with, and who still, even as the seasoned veteran that he is, still looks like he has a couple of lapses. And then Dwayne Brown also, who kind of had a stretch there during the game that really was a little bit questionable, with multiple penalties and really at the most inopportune times. It's really difficult to watch it play out the way that it did. Yeah, just to kind of just touch on the offensive line, man. You think that we're going to be able to see any continuity, or do you think we're going to have to make some moves at that position also going forward?
Oh man, I feel like if we might have to make some moves. I mean, they've been pretty solid though. I mean, for what we've had, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't know if that's Brees just in the backfield making plays happen also as well. So
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna find out shortly. But as far as the penalties, yeah, I think that was our worst game with penalties this year as far
Yeah,
as like
like
mistakes, mental.
man, like was it 11, 12 penalties? Even that egregious
Yes.
funky, roughing the passer by Vinny. Yeah, that
One
was
thing I
just
will say, it was
that was
super
huge.
rough to watch, but we came out with a win again. So I mean,
Again, right? I
something we
don't want.
usually don't do. We don't usually
Yeah, I
don't
don't
do
want to
that.
have. I don't want to have the tone like it's a completely horrible outing because look, we're going to talk about the positives on the defense here in just a little bit, but it was really a difficult game. And it
Oh
was
yeah.
at times it was hard to watch because we're still jaded. We're still a little scarred as Jets fans, and I think you look at some of that stuff and you guys think, man, this is the same old Jets. We're going to give it away, but to their I guess to the positive benefit, these guys are really learning how to grind out victories and they're learning how to win. In situations where the last couple of seasons or going back to 2015 we would have given this thing away. So
Oh yeah.
listen, I want to take the positivity in the victory, and I don't want to be too down about how it is that we finished off with all the injuries. But I do believe that we still have some positives to look forward to. um, Look, the defense, I don't know, man. It's really difficult right now to believe that we don't have maybe a top five defense in this league, right? And they are going to be what it is that we hang our hats on over the course of these next few games, coming into a three game stretch. Excuse me, that really is probably one of the most important that we'll have the entire season here, or at least going into the bye week and coming out of the bye week when we have to go back to New England to face them. After a break. Hopefully, we'll have some influx of talent by then. And I've been kind of checking out the news here this past afternoon about the possibility of Kareem Hunt actually being in the mix here. I know that they've been talking about the Browns have been in talks of bringing that guy in. A phenomenal, I think, replacement for Brees, or at least fill in, because I don't think you're going to replace a guy like that who, very easily I think was, I don't know, the front runner for offensive rookie of the year. You think, JR? Is that out? Is that outlandish?
Oh no, no, he was definitely number one. Who knows the way he was going and picking up momentum? He could have been also player of the year.
Yeah,
You know what I
look,
mean? Who
I'm not
knows?
not
You,
even
you
mad at
never
that.
know because he only had 4 carries that game for what 70 something yards.
Yeah, if the stats are correct here, 4 carries, 72 yards, averaging
Every
18.
yeah,
I,
4 carries.
yeah, obviously that the big run, but still, getting yards when there really wasn't much because the offensive line was struggling a little bit. So, look, we have we have a guy, Michael Carter, who's going to step up to the plate, and I know Michael Carter struggled a little bit, 13 carries for 29 yards, but part of his versatility allowed him to also, lead the team in receiving, 2 receptions for 45 yards. So, I mean, it's not as if we're not going to get similar production from him. It's not going to actually be, on the level that Brees was actually capable of providing for us, but. Michael Carter, was a guy coming out of last season who we really kind of expected was going to be, quite possibly the number one back on this offense early in the season until Brees got ready. So maybe not too difficult to see him stepping in up to the plate. But most definitely, I don't think it's far fetched to say it's a fairly noticeable drop off in what the expectation should be. It's going to lead us into a situation where Matt LaFleur is going to have to show up and he's going to have to show out because being able to replace the type of production it is that we would have gotten from Brees is I think it's really going to be difficult to have that
I'm gonna
just be done by one person. You know what I mean?
yeah, I'm gonna say him and as well as Zach Wilson's got to show up a little bit here.
Absolutely,
I mean,
absolutely.
that's just my opinion. I know he's not getting much time. The line's banged up, but
Yeah.
you gotta
Look,
make something happen.
that I think I was talking to a few of the guys earlier this afternoon, and we're talking about the possible options for replacing Brees. And there are the names out there. Kareem Hunt, Cam Akers, the kid Robinson. I want to say from Jacksonville. All of those guys, they bring a certain veteran, kind of presence. Outside of Robinson, who I think is a much younger guy, but um, I think they bring enough to allow us to remain competitive in that position. Maybe obviously not as much as what it is that we would expect to get from number 20, but still enough for us to be able to do some of the things that we need to do in order to continue to protect our young quarterback. And we're going to get to number two here a little bit later in the show. But just to kind of touch upon a couple things, and again, if you guys are in the chat, please throw your messages in. I like to communicate with you, see what it is that you think, how it is that how it is that you feel about coming out of this. If you just want to cry, like I wanted to, a little bit during the game, right? Yeah, it is a little scary, I guess.
It is.
What it is that we expect we're going to see going forward, I don't know. Really hard call to believe that we're going to be exactly the same, especially at 5-2, where it really looked like our offensive identity was really running through Brees.
Yeah.
And I'm on record as saying, I mean, we wanted to run the ball. That I think has been, the mainstay of how it is that I've described what our identity is going to be. It's going to have to change a little bit, and we're going to have to see if Zach Wilson is actually for real going forward, and if Mike LaFleur is going to trust him enough to let him, kind of be that guy. Now we've seen some signs from Zach, right? The fourth quarter in the Pittsburgh game, and even in spots in other games where he's looked like he's been a capable guy. And just to kind of touch upon something that I recognized, at least in social media and Twitter and Facebook, there's a lot of folks out there who are really killing Zach Wilson right now as if he hasn't played well in certain respects this season. No, he's not Tim Brody at this point in time, and he's not, obviously one of the lead quarterbacks in the league. But I think realistically, if you keep it in context, this guy literally just played his 17th game in the NFL. And while that is what a complete season would be, you kind of don't want to see him as a rookie, but you have to recognize that he's really only had rookie reps at this point. I mean, he's been injured, he's been out, he's had an opportunity to watch Joe Flacco run for his life behind a makeshift offensive line, and unfortunately, he still has that same problem that he's going to be dealing with here.
Let,
And,
let
and
me
I,
ask. Let
yeah,
me
sure,
ask
go
you a
ahead.
question. So, how long do we actually give them?
You know what? That's difficult for me.
Okay.
But well, let me say this. I believe that I've seen enough from Zach to say that we shouldn't be ready to dump him so quickly. But I do believe that if we at towards the end of this season coming up,
Right.
we should actually have a much better idea about what this guy is capable of. Now, I'm going to say this, and this may be an unpopular take, but I think it's a realistic one, right? Zach is not going to play his best football this season. It's just not going to happen.
I agree.
And and most of the time, you get young rookie quarterbacks who are coming maybe from a not as pro ready program as what Zach did coming from BYU. And maybe it does take them a little longer to get the speed of the game down, to get their process time down, and to maybe not try to play hero ball as much because of the position that he was drafted in. And I think that is part of what it is that we're seeing in Zach right now. Yes, he has to play better, guys. Please don't jump down my throat, because I say that we kind of need to have patience. But I think, as difficult as it is to ask for patience right now, I think that we kind of need to have at least a little bit more with Zach Wilson currently, just because of where it is that he is coming from, and maybe the difficulty in learning this offense, and now to be hampered by the injury bug that is, kind of plaguing the players around him. I think it's going to be difficult to say he's going to play his best ball in this situation. But I do agree he has to play better. I do believe Matt LaFleur is going to have to be better with what it is that he does in game planning and scheming this guy into, some, maybe some quick hits. We want to get the ball out of his hands quickly. And if that means, giving him two quick reads and having him throw the ball away a lot faster than what it is that he has been, I think that needs to be ingrained. It needs to be coached in. And I've been very critical of Matt LaFleur up until this point because I don't believe that he's done that. I don't want to get too deep into the Elijah Moore aspect of this game in particular, even though his absence was very, very noticeable in what it is that we were doing. I think it's difficult to say that what it is that he has done has not maybe hampered Zach a little bit. I mean, you think I'm off base with that as far as what Matt LaFleur has been doing, Jerry? You think because I think that maybe Matt LaFleur is maybe doing things and maybe giving him game plans that are not necessarily what it is that he is going to be good at right now.
I mean that could be true. I haven't really looked at it that way before. I was actually looking at his stats the last 3 games, just look it up. So he's actually got 400 passing yards in 3 games, 420,
Man,
and 1 touchdown. But
that's
no
hard.
turnovers, no turnovers. So I mean that is a positive. But yeah, I didn't really think about that. Who knows? Who
Yeah.
knows? Do you feel like he's calling the right plays for Zach?
You know what?
You're,
I'll be honest with you. I think, and just like I said, not to get too deep into the Elijah Moore thing, excuse me, but I
right.
think that Elijah Moore being out of position at this point in time is hampering how it is that Zach is able to process going through the offense. I know that Garrett Wilson is the shining golden boy as of right now, but I think that Elijah Moore and his experience in the slot, I think would give Zach maybe some opportunities to catch that guy in open space and give him yards after the catch. And I think that also some of the 50-50 balls and the go routes that he wants to throw on the outside, I think Garrett Wilson gives him a much better opportunity of completing more of those passes. So I think that in particular gives him a much higher opportunity for success. And
Right.
I look, I'll be honest. When Elijah Moore comes back, I'll be very surprised if he doesn't play the majority of the snaps.
No,
Um,
exactly. I hope
in,
he has
in
a.
this
I hope he has a huge game. I
man,
really do. And hopefully, it just wipes everything out. He made a mistake.
yeah,
The fans, we're on him right now. I hope he has a huge game for us. And it's kind of like, all right, no hard feelings. All right, let's get back at it.
yeah. Look, I can imagine he's probably going to get some ribbing in the locker room, and I've been in locker
And the
rooms
fans
before.
coming out.
Well, the fans are going to be harder on him than I think the team will be, and
Yeah.
you can just tell that by some of the really foul stuff that's being said about the kid. I
Oh
mean, yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean
I
he's a
mean,
young
he's
kid. He makes
young.
mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
He
mean,
wants the ball. I get it. But
look,
I mean,
he's a dog. He wants to
and
be that.
that dude, he fell for the bait from that one dude. You know what I
Facts
mean? He
from
fell for
AJ,
the
yeah,
bait. Yeah.
yeah,
It
and
is
and
what it
and,
is.
and I'm sure he's looking up to AJ, and AJ, actually just recently, getting his own bag is probably, giving him some advice that unfortunately isn't as relevant to him right now, right? AJ balled out, man. AJ was one of those guys that commanded that type of money, and I don't think Elijah's put up the production to be able to consider himself in that category
Oh
just yet. So,
yeah,
that's hard.
yeah. It's real hard.
What I don't want to do is kind of lose focus on the fact that Elijah Moore is a supremely talented young player. And I think that kid, he's going to have an opportunity to really kind of do some things going forward if we give him the opportunity to be that guy, right? So, what I want to kind of move to next, and please excuse me, guys, I'm trying to get to where it is I can actually see the comments. For whatever reason, I'm not
Yeah.
in which.
I'm not seeing them either, really.
I'm trying to figure out where we're at. Let me get back to a couple of things because I want to be able to see who it is. We got to see guys in, and I can always count on Guy to be here. Me and Guy chop it up during the week. Really intelligent, passionate Jets fan. I'm thankful that he's here rocking with us. I hope to be able to garner an audience that is like him when it comes to their knowledge, understanding, and actually just general passion about this team and about the game overall. So I appreciate you being in the comments, my guy.
Yes,
I want to
sir.
try to get some more folks in because I know that we've got some folks in. I can see a few watchers right now.
Yep.
Again, give us a call, guys. If you haven't already, please share the link and tell your friends that what we're doing here and have them come in, man. We're gonna have some intelligent conversation and we're gonna have some impassioned conversation with a guy like myself who a Jets fan for over 40 years, man. So I'd like to think that I have a reasonable take about where it is that we're at. Maybe some unpopular takes because I don't necessarily agree with all of the nonsense that the pundits say. Just shout out to my guys at the Jets Lounge. Let me go ahead and give that shout out while we're here.
Yeah.
Sack
What
and
is
those
that?
guys.
What
Yeah.
is that?
Look, Jets Lounge is one of the largest communities of Jets fans right now in the social media sphere.
Nice.
Look, those guys do giveaways. They do live chats. Look, I'll just keep it real. They actually stream games on the weekend. So if you're a part of the Jets Lounge community on Discord, you actually have access to a live stream of every single game, every single weekend. Those guys do giveaways on Twitter. If you don't already know who Sack Exchange is, you might want to follow that guy. There's a whole list of them. I'll be honest with you. There's quite a few of 'em. Anthony Brack and a few of the other guys. I'm thankful. Pat Dunn,
Uh oh.
who actually sent me this shirt actually. So really want to give those guys a shout out. They're doing their thing. Scott Calispi, my man, who I recently just found out is funny as hell. I'm thankful that excuse me. All right. Stop making excuses for Zach. It's sickening to keep hearing. Oh, it's only his 19th game. He's been around for a year and a half. He should be better than 120 yards a game. And he's
It's
playing
true.
two of his games this year. Look,
I do
you know,
agree. I do.
I agree to an extent.
Right.
And look, let me not just say that there isn't some truth to that because there is. Zach has to be better, and I'm not going to sit here and say that he does not. I will say that there are some extenuating circumstances, and the kid really wasn't ready. He's not the, he's not where we were hoping that he would be at this point, right?
Right.
Um, but I will say this: I don't want to act like the kid sucks because he has played some pretty decent ball so far this season in spots. I mean, we can't necessarily say that he didn't win a game for us, right? Because he did in that fourth quarter in Pittsburgh, where he really showed out. I mean, he showed a lot of the moxie, he showed a lot of the grit. He showed a lot of what it is that we would want in our franchise quarterback. But obviously,
Would it be
these
bold to say that Sam Darnold will finish with better stats on the New York Jets than Zach Wilson before we get rid of him?
you know what?
Would that be a bold statement? I don't know.
I don't know either. And at this point in time,
That's sad.
obviously, Robbie Jersey, who obviously is a super fan and one of my favorite guys within the sphere. He's not sold on Zach at all, and he doesn't necessarily feel like Zach, has shown any ability to be the guy at this point. I don't know if I'm ready
Right.
to say. I don't know if I'm ready to say that just quite yet.
I'm close, dude. I'm
Yeah,
close.
but yeah,
But he's my quarterback, so I'm riding
yeah,
with him. But I'm close.
it's
I ain't
getting
seen
there.
nothing really. I mean, a couple
I
little
I
deep passes, okay, but that's
I
about
wrote for
it.
Sam hard too. I wrote for Sam hard because I kind of wanted Sam to be the guy, but Sam let us down continuously.
Yeah.
Um, look, uh,
Is it?
guy Zach is Zach is really questionable right now. Like, he's not getting heavy reps in during practice. I think during practice, I think they're probably spending more time running the ball. I think that that's
Right.
kind of the point to what it is that they said when they drafted him that they were going to, lift him up, and not have him have to be the one that's doing the heavy lifting. And I think going into this next stretch of games, as I touched on earlier, he's going to have to be the guy that lifts us. And
Yep.
is he ready? Right? I mean, is he ready right now? I don't know.
He's got to
Um,
show up and be that number two pick, man.
well, he's going to have to be. And at this point in time, like I said, he's shown some things, but I can't
Yeah.
necessarily say
And
that
and like you said,
he's
he ain't
shown
got to
enough.
do too much, but
I see in the comments, Simon Baccarella. Did they really trade for Robinson? If that's a fact, I am not mad at that.
what
I need to.
happened?
What are the terms? The
Huh?
kid, what's his name? James Robinson is that the
I'm looking it up
um
right now. Did we from the
yeah
Jaguars back in the day?
trading a 6th round pick for to Jacksonville for James Robinson per source. Oh man, okay.
Hey,
I'm not mad at that. I kind of
no,
like that.
yeah, me too.
Yes, let's stay competitive. And that kid he's been beasting these past few weeks for Jacksonville, as much as I can say. And I know I want to give a shout out to my man Ryan Gopin, who I was talking to earlier about our running back situation. And I was thinking that the organization really likes Bam Knight, and I thought that if they didn't pull the trigger immediately, it was because maybe they like that guy. But thinking that that may just not have been enough, and I can see now that they didn't think that it was, and they brought in James Robinson. If this is correct, it says here. This is being reported by Adam Schefter, so it's a pretty reliable source,
You
right?
see that? I don't see nothing on
Six
this.
round pick that could become a 5th rounder. Yeah, that was Adam Schefter. Bear with me just for a moment. Let me see if I can get this up because if I can get it up,
Oh,
yeah, it was
nice.
reports. Yeah, 7:49. So just a few minutes ago, it was reported.
Huh?
All right.
I'm on ESPN too. I don't see nothing.
Yeah, this is Twitter.
No, yeah, that's probably way quicker.
Yeah, Twitter is always a little more of the real time
Nice,
stuff.
nice. Well, if that's on point,
Look,
I'll take
I
that.
am not mad at that. Joe Douglas, Joe Douglas shows that he's on the job, and not only that he's not only is he on the job right now, but Joe Douglas is actually all in and trying to make sure that we remain competitive. I wonder now before the trade deadline, does he feel like he needs to do something to bolster the offensive line? I like this pickup,
Huh?
Gerald.
This is how Jets fans feel right now. You know, when they
Look,
give
look, I'm gonna tell you right now. Oh man, look, I'm seeing a couple of things here. JD's job on the line too after all this, and they can't let 5-2 season slip away. I agree with that sentiment.
Same
Florencio,
boat.
my man, thanks for the confirmation, my guy.
Yes, sir.
Um, I'm, I,
Damn.
Yo, Flo. I mean, what do you think, man? You think that was a good pickup? I mean, Guy, all of the fellas that are in the chat right now, let
So
us know
they,
how you feel about this Robinson pickup, guys.
so I guess they got no faith in Ty being a backup.
I wouldn't.
Well, I
Look,
mean,
I don't think I'm alone in that. I don't have faith in that guy at all. And I mean,
right?
we kind of recognize what it is that we got from him just this past game. I mean, it wasn't enough. Give me just a second. Let me see. Kev,
Tough D though, tough D.
one carry for 3 yards.
That's all they
Um,
gave him. Well, you can't
yeah,
go off one carry. You can't go off one carry.
one reception for 6 yards. I mean, I think they gave him more. I think there were some penalties
Oh,
that
okay.
might have brought some stuff back. But yeah, I mean, the guy's that. I don't want to say he's a scrub, but
Right.
he's borderline scrub as far as I'm concerned. I wouldn't be confident having that guy be one play away from being a starter. I think Robinson actually is a phenomenal compliment to
Why would
what it
they
is that
trade
we're going to
him
do with
for a
Michael
sixth
Carter.
round draft pick? Was he hurt or was he playing this year or what?
Actually, no. If I remember correctly, he just had a 100-yard game a little while ago. I mean, like
Is-
he's been playing well. Give me just a
okay.
second. Let me take a look and see if I can find
Yeah,
his stats
because I'm just
because
wondering why would they give him up for a sixth round? Kind of cheap. Unless Joe's.
no man. Yeah, look. Let me see.
He's got three touchdowns for
Robinson.
340 yards with 81 attempts. He's averaging 4.2 yards, 34th in the NFL.
I'm not even mad at that. And I mean,
No,
what
I'm
is
not
he?
mad at that.
What is
He's
he?
what's
Is
that?
six? Is it? He's a rookie right now, or I'm trying to think.
Nah. He's in his let's see, he's in his third season.
Third season. Okay. Well, I mean,
He's
he
5'9", 219 pounds.
look. That means he's a bowling ball. We'll take it.
Yep, he is.
Little bigger than Michael Carter, a little faster than Michael Carter, but still has some ability in the patch game.
20,
Oh yeah.
24 years old, 24. So,
Oh man. So again, another young guy that we can
hey,
add to the mix.
yeah.
I'm not mad at that. All right. Let's see. Jaguars send Jets to Jaguars send James Robinson to running back needy Jets. Let's see. The Jaguars get a late round pick. It's a move that makes sense for both sides after Robinson played just 12 snaps in week 7 and didn't register a touch while the Jets lost rookie sensation Brees Hall to a season ending torn ACL. All right. Let's see. This
So,
move also look they're saying that he was behind Travis Etienne, and I think Etienne is I guess going to be considered their main back. So I mean he's expendable, but I'm also a guy that can come in and fill in what it is that we need, and not necessarily be a threat to what it is that we're going to want to do with Brees Hall next season either. Right?
well, check this out. So the Jaguars are 1-5. Their only win was Week 1 when Robinson rushed for 100 yards with 17 touches. After that, he had 29, 27, 54, and 0.
Yeah,
So,
and that's I think that might be what I remembered about him, that 100-yard game.
yep, Week
But
1.
yeah, but because I don't give a fat baby's ass about Jacksonville right now, I would never know exactly what it is that that guy's doing. But
Right,
um,
exactly. We will
yeah,
now, though.
the Jags. Well, I guess
You
we'll
think he
see.
can be ready for the Pats game?
You know what?
Like McCaffrey? McCaffrey
In,
got out there?
in a limited role,
Yeah.
in a limited role, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
If I remember correctly, though, I think Robinson has a little bit of a knee issue right now. Also, I
Oh,
think
okay.
I'm seeing that pop up all over
Well, that's great.
what it is that he's had. But look, as long as he's going to be available, we'll just put it that way, right? Let's see. If people don't think Belichick is going to completely take away the run game this week, you're kidding yourself. No, I don't
Oh,
believe.
yeah.
No, I think that actually is exactly what it is that he's going to try to do. But I also believe that Bill Belichick is the type of guy that will have contingency plans for if we do decide to go back with the pass. I just hope that again, Zach Wilson is going to be enough. And look, we're coming up on the midway point of the show. So really good news with Robinson, and I do want to kind of get back to what it is that we're seeing with Zach Wilson. He's
Oh,
a running
yeah.
back. All the plays are the same. Yeah, you know what? Look, I don't know, Scott. I do think that I think that there's more to it than that, right? I think Matt LaFleur is still a young, creative mind. Hopefully, he can pull his head out of his ass enough to let Zach kind of do some cooking this weekend. I know that Elijah's going to be back. I know that we're probably going to see maybe a little bit more of Mims, who I think is, maybe hopefully going to play his way into that outside role, which is where he's more suited to be.
Oh,
Even if it's just a couple of plays, man. Look, I'm not saying I believe that Denzel Mims is the end all beat all savior. I just think that the guy has a particular skill set, and it's something that we've been missing, right? So I
yeah,
mean,
crucial holding call. I know that.
yeah, I
We
saw
had
that.
a lot of holding calls, though. We had a
Yeah,
lot.
And if I remember correctly, it was kind of a questionable thing. I think it was
It
more
was.
about positioning than it was actually him just having a bonehead play. And then only that, but if you saw the block on that Brees Hall touchdown, he tried to murderize that guy, and I was really kind of amped up by that. I'll just be honest. I
Hey,
thought that, him standing on the sideline for as long as he had, he's chomping at the bit right now. So I would expect maybe some overzealous play from
I'm not
him.
gonna lie. I was hyped when I thought he dropped that pass, and then once we watched the replay, I found
Yeah,
it
it's
was a
not.
horrible pass from
Yeah,
Zach. So I was like,
yeah.
all right.
You know what? And that again, that just brings us right back to the difficulties that Zach Wilson is having. And if this kid is actually going to be capable of maybe not elevating the entire team, but at least playing up to the level of some of the pieces that we've put around him that have shown the ability, going forward. Uh, what do we do? What 16 passes? What were there's that 16 receptions, 26 attempts. 121 yards, no touchdowns. Obviously, the I guess the one sticking point as of right now, no interceptions. He is being a lot better with ball security, even though there's a couple of plays where I think he needs to do a little bit better job of protecting. I know he didn't give up any, turnovers in particular, but I do think he needs to be better with getting rid of the ball. I do think that he needs to do a little bit better with protecting the ball when he's running. Burke White Jr., good evening, brother. Thank you for
What's up,
joining
Bert?
us. I
Hey, I got a
appreciate
quick
you.
quick comment to make. A couple of scrambles. I felt like he should have kept going. He would have. It seemed like he had room. I know it's all hearsay there. You know what I mean? But
Look, I agree, but I
I
think
just
I
feel like
think
he's
they
doing too much.
well, I think they want him to protect himself, and I can hear,
True.
I can see him kind of processing right in the back of his
Yep.
mind, saying, I either need to get down or get out. I think some of the problems that we're having is that he's not throwing the ball away timely, and I think that's because he doesn't want to hurt his stats.
That is true.
The only,
They did, they did
the
drop a
only
few.
reason, yeah, look, Scott, you're on point with that one, and I'm gonna keep it real. Maybe not as much as what it is that I saw in that Miami game last night, but
Right.
most definitely there was some
Oh
drops.
yeah, yeah.
Guy Fisher again, Zach Wilson and Garrett Wilson need to really get on the same page for real. I think a lot of that has to do with Zach not being able to process quickly, and also the offensive line woes where he's kind of running for his life almost immediately. People know
Yeah.
that he struggles under pressure, but I think the type of pressure it is that he's getting, it's not as if it's a 3 second pressure. I think it's just he snaps the ball and there's a free runner coming at his ass, right? So it is difficult to overcome that. I just want to say this as someone that played football, on a level beyond Pee Wee and high school football. I really do think that some of these takes are, kind of dripping with inability to understand how difficult it really is. Now, I know these guys are pro players, right? These guys get paid millions of dollars to do it, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's easy, right? And it doesn't necessarily mean it's easy for them just because they're on this level. Some of these things are extremely difficult to do, especially when you're kind of a not as ready player as what it is that you'll get from a second year quarterback that really doesn't even have an entire season of games under his belt until this last game. Now, let me not again just because I know Scott is rolling his eyes until his head. I don't want him to go blind. Zach does have to be better, right? He does. There is no doubt about that. There is no question that he has to be better. But I just think that the timeline here is, I think it needs to be accelerated, and I think that what Mike LaFleur does to scheme these next couple of games are difficult. I don't think he likes to throw that quick 5 yard slant. I think he likes the out. I think he's much better, much more comfortable doing that. I've seen him do that quite a bit. I think Mike LaFleur has to do a better job of scheming those things into what it is that they're doing. I think also part of why it is that he's having some of the problems that he's having is because they're asking him to do a little bit more than what I think he is prepared to do because they're asking him to have all these reads and maybe process to receivers that are further down the field instead of just kind of quick hits and yards after the catch possibilities. And I think that is where Elijah Moore is going to gain his stats over the course of the next couple of weeks if they do give him that opportunity. And I hope that they do, right? Um, but that also kind of opens up maybe Garrett Wilson a little bit more to the 50-50 ball on the outside. You think that's something that makes sense though, JR? I mean, swapping these guys and kind
Oh
of giving them
yeah.
an opportunity to do things that are more suited to their skill set.
Yeah, I think everybody's been saying that actually. I feel like everybody's been saying move Elijah to the slot, pop
Right.
Garrett outside. Yeah, Yeah, no, it makes
Look,
total sense. We got to get the ball into the playmakers' hands, and they want the ball, give it to them, and they'll see make some plays.
yeah, I think I said last week that being able to, really what I was kind of getting at was I think part of the reason why Elijah Moore did what it is that he did outside of him just being kind of a kid, and I think that's putting it nicely, right? Is because he wouldn't have had a conversation with Mike LaFleur. Mike LaFleur was telling him that he was not going to get the opportunity to do that, right? And I think that in particular is a problem. Burkwhite, let's see. Well, honestly, Clamp blames Zach. If he had his arm, he want to throw a bomb. Yeah, look,
Hey,
that's how he made his bones, though. That's really what kind of what wowed folks.
but when you
If you,
dropping bombs, you gotta have that accuracy. You don't want to blow up the whole. You don't want to blow up another neighborhood across the street. You gotta hit it right on
man,
point, and
I
that's
I,
where
I
it's a
want
little
to
shaky.
I want to keep this real because Burke touches on something that I think is a really important aspect of it. You're throwing bombs to a guy 5'8". You're throwing 50-50 balls to a guy that really is uniquely unsuited to win
Yes,
50-50 balls on a regular, right? So you figure you're throwing a 50-50 ball to a guy that's, like 30-70, right? Because he's not really going to be in position to win those against bigger and stronger cornerbacks. And that's even if he can get off the line. As a smaller guy, it's not easy to get off the line. If you get bumped, your timing is off, which means that play is, almost dead before you even get a chance to kind of get it started. So, again, some questions about how it is that we're using this player personnel. But again, it still brings us back to I guess, the main point in that Zach is going to have to be better if we're going to be able to maintain some continuity going forward, right?
and this is
Um,
the game he's got to prove it. I feel like a big game right here, baby. Let's go, division
this
game.
is a
We need you.
huge game,
We
and
need
I
you, Zach.
I certainly would hate to go into that Buffalo game knowing we just got our asses whooped by
Right.
New England. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's a psychology thing, right? You don't want to have that be the aura of this team going into the bye week. Scott Police, I couldn't care how far he can throw the ball. Yeah, well, look, I'm gonna keep it real. I don't either. When your line is in shambles, you don't have time to throw deep,
Nope.
but you do have time to do what the O is supposed to work. Look, I think this offense is designed, Scott. Now, I mean, tell me if you think I'm wrong. We're designed to run the rock, but we're also designed for quick hits, right? It's not supposed to be deep balls all the time unless your running game is working well and the play action is doing what it needs to do. But
Right.
he's gonna need to soften that up a little bit by kind of hitting Conklin at 7-8 yards in the seam, hitting Elijah Moore on those outs and quick slants, and maybe have 10-15 yards in from Garrett Wilson where he can be shifty enough to maybe just go up and catch a pass
And
in
they're
front of
not
a DB.
and they're not tough throws. They're simple, like you said, 15-yard slants. Just hit them.
Look,
Hit them.
they're quick. He can get the ball out of his hands quick, and he can get into a rhythm, which is what it is that we have not seen over the course of these past couple of weeks. I think that's going to be difficult if he can't get that done. If Michael Floor doesn't scheme those things in, I don't think Zach is sophisticated enough right now to start audibling at the line and calling those plays for himself. I don't believe that they're even giving him the opportunity to do that. So that's going to hurt. You know what I'm saying?
I hope this turns out to be like one of the Tennessee Titan games of last year or the Bengals games. We
Man,
need one of those games. You
brother,
gotta
from
do.
from your lips to God's
I know.
ears, please, please. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Please, please, please.
Need one of them big
Um,
games.
Look, what I think is really kind of missing right now, and part of why it is that I feel like I am as wanting to kind of give Zach the benefit of the doubt is because I do believe a lot of it is how the offense is being called currently.
Right.
And this might be an unpopular take, but I think Matt LaFleur, who I I feel may think he's the smartest guy in the room, isn't necessarily doing everything that he can to put Zach in positions to succeed. Yeah, deep balls are nice if you know that he's got the arm to do it. But if he's not going to do that in rhythm, and if he's not going to do that with the opportunity that maybe a different wide receiver would give to that, I think that it's kind of it's kind of a like a bad kind of setup for him. What was that last comment by Scott? I think I saw something.
Let's see here. I'll bring it up. Here you go.
Let the wide receiver Wilson and Moore use their ability to break plays, hit them in stride.
That's the
And
key word. You got to hit them in stride, though. That's the
that's
key word there, Scott. And
that's
that's
the
what we need
point I've
Zach
been
to
trying to make.
do.
That's the point I've been trying to make. And Scott hits it on the head. Another, really intelligent Jets fan. And I know, Scott is kind of tired of listening to us make excuses. But at 5 and well, I mean, look, at 5 and 2,
Hey, we're
um,
5-2 though.
yeah, I'm
Hey,
saying we're winning, and the flow of the game dictates how it is, or at least these past couple of games dictates what it is that we do. But I think it is a little nerve wracking. I think it's a little, kind of upsetting that Matt LaFleur is taking the ball out of Zach's hands in the end of the game when I think those are the times when, he's really kind of needing to have it there. I think that without him, having the opportunities to do that consistently, we're gonna have games like what it is that we had
that
against
might have been a right.
against
That
them.
might have been a smart play though against that Denver defense. He take the
Yeah.
ball out of his hands because he looked horrible. I'm not gonna
Well,
lie. So we
look,
had to lead, just run the
he
rock, eat the
he
clock, and hey,
looked
live for another week.
he looked really bad,
He
right?
did. He really
Guys,
bad.
look, yeah, you're not going to hear me say that the kid looked like he was doing what he's
Jeez.
supposed to do. He looked really bad. But I will say this.
Hey,
It's not like we haven't seen him play well. It's not like we haven't seen him take over a game and drive and score. And on that drive in particular, I know there was a penalty here and there, but he was still hitting strikes, man. He was still hitting folks, and he was hitting them like Scott says, in stride and giving them opportunities to catch and run. I don't know. Guy Fisher, Jeff Albrecht keep lining Mike Clemens up at the left side edge. That's not his strength.
well, well,
I'm hard pressed to really question what Albrecht is doing right now. I'm just
what
gonna
is
keep it
what is
real.
his strengths? What is Mike Clemens' strengths?
You know what? I don't know. I think he's slow though.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a speed rusher. I think if you put him
Nah.
on that side, I think you're putting him on that side to set the edge and keep everything inside so that the run game is bolstered. And I think that's probably going to be what it is that he contributes until he's a more seasoned player and actually gets to to earn the opportunity to rush with the other guys.
Now is
Um,
Jermaine Johnson coming back this week?
you
Have we
know
got any
what?
update on that? Or
I don't recall seeing an update. I know that
okay.
him still being in the boot and him being out for 2 consecutive weeks without practice. I think we need to look and see how
Mm,
that progresses over the course of this week. Realistically, I don't expect him to be back this week. I'm just going to say that. I don't think they want to rush him back, but I also don't think maybe they're in a position where they need him currently.
right.
Quinnen Williams is playing at an All Pro level, right? And I mean, I know that it may have been a little bit more quiet
He
game.
said Jermaine Johnson's back this week.
Is he coming back this week? Look, you guys are seeing stuff that I'm not seeing. I hadn't seen that, but I hope. No, look, I hope that he is.
Right.
I think we
Yeah.
talked about this. Jermaine
Get
Jermaine
him out
Johnson is that
there.
guy.
Yeah.
I was really excited by that pick. So I'm hoping that he comes
He
in and he
needs
does
those
what
reps.
he needs to do. It's been amazing watching how well our D has played when they aren't on the field all day. Facts, facts. The running game has helped us more than anyone can imagine. If we can finally stop 586 penalties, we'd be unbelievable. Yeah, multiple assorted facts in that comment. My man Thomas Gutman, welcome back, my guy. Appreciate you coming joining us. Who are offensive
That's
linemen against the Pats? Great
that's a good
question.
question.
That is a good
So
question.
yeah.
Hopefully we get we get a maybe a more in tune Dwayne Brown. Maybe we get the corpse of Lakin Tomlinson right now, who really hasn't been playing well at much at all this season. Connor McGovern has been a little steady. I'm gonna be honest, he's not bad, but he's been steady. I think that right side of that line is maybe bolstered by Herbig, but who's going to be the tackle? That's the Abbott and Costello routine. We have no clue at this point, right? It's going to be difficult to say, but obviously Joe Douglas was busy, right? We had two free agent signings with Abwehi. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I'm not sure if I am. But I know we brought in another guy that whose name is escaping me right now. But we do have depth. Is it quality depth? I'm not sure. Does he feel like these guys are going to be, good enough going into the trade deadline, which I think is 8 days away? That's also going to be something else. We have speed and strength. Jacob Martin, Bryce Huff, Jermaine Johnson also. We can trust our secondary. That's what's good. CJJR, Kevin Guy, and I are going to start. Look, as long as I can play center, right? It's going to be
Yeah, I ain't the center. I don't want nobody fingers
yeah.
up my booty hole. You know what I'm
Look,
saying?
I'll play center. That way I don't have as much movement to do. I got bad knees.
I got
All of
right
them.
guard. I got right
Yeah,
guard.
all of them years of playing, I think I would be in bad shape out there if I had to pull somewhere and hit somebody. I'd probably light them up. I am like 250, but you know what I'm saying. You never know. Look, we have some questions, guys, and I mean, yes, I'm excited that we're 5-2. I'm excited that this team has shown some resiliency when we really, kind of don't have don't have the right to have it. These guys have been gritty. They've been toughing it out. Our
Big
defense
time.
again. Our defense is look. If I'm being realistic, maybe top five. I don't know. It's going to be hard to say that you're going to find a defense that actually is playing tougher than we are right now. And as I think, it does remain to be seen what we look like against, teams that are intact all the way around. What we're going to see
Right.
against New England, and the truest test is going to most definitely be what it is that we do versus Buffalo in 2 weeks, and then coming right back to go back to New England after the bye week is going to be tough. It really is
You
going to
would
be
you
tough.
would think like worst case scenario for the season to end. Worst case, we're gonna probably 3 wins. That depends at 8 and 9. You know what I
Ooh,
mean?
yeah. You know
That's at
what?
worst case. I would think at worst case scenario,
I'm
three
going to keep it
wins.
real. When we get
And
to that,
nobody had that at the beginning of the season. That's even going
oh,
to 8. Most people.
well,
So
you know what? Look, I am one of the
some
people.
did, but
I'm gonna keep it real. I was one of the people that said 9 or 10 wins. I said
okay.
that, and I said that in public, which
I went 7.
yeah, either makes me crazy or it makes me a little prescient because we are playing in a fashion that might actually get us there if this Robinson pick pans out,
Right.
and if we can actually maybe keep the remainder of the team intact without killing everybody before the rest of the season. We're going to face 10 in the box all game or until Zach can force him out of it. I don't have any doubt about that. Mike LaFleur again. Mike LaFleur is going to earn his check this week also by giving Zach more opportunities to kind of let it fly a little bit. And
Thoughts on Sauce right now? Top 5 cornerback in the league.
uh,
Some are
Sauce,
saying that a
Sa-
lot of Hall of Famers are saying he's a top 5 already in the league.
Sauce is top three, and he's not three.
Okay.
I'm,
Right.
I'm just going to keep it real. Look, when you have a guy as a rookie, thank you, Thomas. I appreciate the dough. Most definitely. Um, when you have a guy like Sauce, man, realistically, and you're giving him opportunities against the best wide receivers on the other team.
Right.
I mean, and look, I can't even say it's been all him, right? Because DJ Reed is also playing out of his mind. So,
Is it
Sauce,
the
yeah. So, hold on. Let me put it this way.
best tandem in the NFL?
Most without a doubt. And then if I want to just put the whole core in because Michael Carter the third, or Michael Carter the second is also a beast.
Right.
I do believe we have the best cornerback room in the league as of right now. Eccles, kind of has a few hiccups, but he doesn't play consistently enough to say he's always in rhythm when he comes in. And he's a young guy still. Maybe not as much of an excuse because Salsa's also a young guy. But I think we're in good shape in that regard. And last season, we kind of went out of the season really with a whole bunch of question marks about are these guys going to be good enough to handle it. I think they've been more than up to the task at this point.
Oh
More.
yeah, I'm telling you right. If Marcus Joyner gets one more pick, I'm getting his jersey just to get it
I'm
because
gonna tell
nobody
you right
has it, and
now.
I gotta rep him because he's out there. He's making some
I was
plays. He's got a
I
couple
was
long-headed plays, but
slaughtering that cat the first couple of weeks. Like we were in here talking about
yeah,
how the
look at
cat's
him now.
slaughtering that cat, look, he's balling. I'm not mad. I'm
Yeah, he's
thankful.
balling.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
kind of
me
needed
too.
we needed to have that happen. Jordan Whitehead, who's obviously box safety, but he's
Yeah.
he's making plays too. Look, at every level of our defense, we've got guys right now, right? Defensive line, excuse me, Sheldon JFM, who still consistently is making plays and is being disruptive. Rankins, um, uh, I got to say this, Carl Lawson, who I think is still not necessarily 100%. He kind of is looks like he wasn't as effective this past weekend. But Bryce Huff, when he comes in, that guy is a Tasmanian devil on the outside. Really excited to see about that. Our linebackers, man. I said coming into the season, our linebackers were going to be a problem. But they were going to really be, maybe one of the shortest positions on our team, and I thought that they were a real question mark. But with the the induction of talent and energy that we get from Quan, and Quincy,
Quincy.
who came back from the injury with his hair on fire, and
Yeah,
actually looking to be much better in coverage also, which I think is a huge testament to his growth. And then CJ Mosley just being a steady and constant presence, making tackles out the wazoo, still like what a veteran leader should. I'm really excited. And then again, to go back to that defensive backfield, the air traffic control, which is what I scream every weekend. Our air traffic control is killing the game right now. Sauce, DJ, Michael Carter, Whitehead, and to your point, Jr. Lamarcus Joyner is actually doing his thing right now. I'm really excited about what this defense can do, and we are going to need them to play this level of ball throughout the rest of the season if we're going to, think like we're going to be able to compete continuously going forward. So I want to give a shout out to Joseph DeFilippo. Thank you very much, my man, for being here. Yeah, he made a
Joseph.
comment a little while ago. They need to get Zach some quick throws and build confidence in tempo. Three-step drop would help. I agree with that, no question. Um, yeah, traded Simon in here, kind of making some points. Also, guys, look, I'm really excited. I'm thankful that you guys are in the chat. I hope I'm not missing too many of your comments here. I really do appreciate you guys being a part of it. Again, just so you guys will know, man, and I don't have to sit up here and talk the whole night. This is a live call-in show. You have access if you want in. If you want to call in and cuss me out because I have a bad take. 201-256-1799. If you want to call in and vent frustrations, 201-256-1799. If you want to call in and give some insight that maybe JR and I are missing here, excuse me. Again, 201-256-1799. Um,
And if you're really feeling froggy and you want to come on live camera,
oh, we can do that also. Hit us up in the
message me.
yeah, hit us up in the
Yeah.
chat and we'll make it pop. Because I know you. I don't know if you feel intimidated by being up against this mug, in the next box. But
Right.
look, I don't care. Come on through. It'll be fun. I'm sure we'll have a great time.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
First and foremost, we're coming up against it here. I just want to kind of give a couple of quick shouts. Um, Based on the last game, our defense is going to be a problem. And I'm just going to be honest. I think next week, whoever it is, whether it be Mac Jones or Zappy, they're going to have their
Zappy.
work cut out for them. The run game, we don't allow too much in the run game. So Ramondre, if that's his name or whatever, Dion or whoever these guys are, they're going to struggle, which means that, these guys are going to have to try to throw. And if you want to try to have Mac Jones throw against this defense, if you don't have the Jets defense in your fantasy, you might want to try to see who has them. I'm going to tell you right now because I believe we're going to eat next week. Um,
Uh,
the the offense is
yeah.
what scares me.
Uh,
Bill Belichick is a defensive mastermind, and
that's right.
I think that we saw from last season what it is that he did to Zach, and even the season before that with the ghost game from Zach, excuse me, from Sam, excuse me. Um, please don't let that be, a Freudian slip that comes to pass. I don't want Zach seeing ghosts.
Uh,
He's already struggling enough. Seeing ghosts would make it that much worse, and that would compound the turnover problem. Anyway, I think it's going to be a close game because I think that unless Mike LaFleur does something spectacular, I think our offense is made not going to necessarily struggle, or they're not going to be strong. I think they may struggle. Scott, you've got a great point, man. We're going to see how it shakes out. Again, really, I believe that we can win this game. I came into the season saying that we were going to sweep New England, and that was
damn.
as much a bravado as it was me just not liking New England, right?
Right.
But I'll be honest. I had an expectation that this team was going to be good. Did I expect us to be 5-2? No. I think I had us at 5-4 going into the bye. So but I mean
We
also
could be there.
yeah, that's possible. I actually expected that we were going to beat. I thought we were going to beat Baltimore and lose to Cleveland, and we had what amounts to be the most opposite outcome to those games because we kind of lost a winnable game, I think, to Baltimore, and then we pulled out an improbable victory against Cleveland. So excited about how that shakes out. But Jr., give me your thoughts, man. What do you think? What do you think we look like going into New England?
So my predictions going into it, New England. I'm actually making my second game up there this week. Bad time to go, but it is what it is because we're going to
Fingers crossed, my
represent.
man. Facts,
I
facts.
feel like it's going to be like week one. It's going to be an ugly game. It's going to be a grimy game. It's going to be a low scoring game.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I just feel something special this year. Not too special, but something's in the air. And
I
I feel
agree.
like we're going to win this game, a close one. I'm
Yeah,
actually going to go 17-14. It's going to come down to Greg the leg. He won't kick like a 40-yarder,
yeah, man.
with a minute left, and the D's going to hold up. That's
I am not mad at that, and I'm going to be honest with you. I'm kind of close in that. I was thinking more like maybe 15-12. I think it's probably going to end up being a
right.
field goal battle because I don't necessarily believe that our defense is going to give up a lot. Um, to New England's offense. I think they are going to struggle against our defense. But I think actually any Bill Belichick coach defense is going to be tough for us. Um, Also, depending upon how it is that we comport ourselves in the run game, is going to be extremely important. If we can't run, that's going to be very difficult for Zach. I do hope that Zach actually can acquit himself at least a little better this game and maybe rack up some chunk plays. I still don't think we're going to be running up, anything on it. What is this, Scott? The Pats are 2.5 point favorite.
I
Um,
like it. I like it when teams are favored up.
yeah, especially in our house, right?
Yeah.
Um, I think I would take the Jets in the money line in this one because I think it's going to be a close game. I think we pull it out though. The one thing that I cannot impress upon anyone more than this point in particular is that we believe. This locker room believes, man, and I don't think anyone going down or anyone not being part of the game is going to change that belief in themselves. We've been finding ways to win, and y'all already know over the course of these past few seasons, we've had quite a few opportunities to give away games, and we have. And we've had opportunities to give away games this season, and we have found ways to win. And I am so ridiculously excited about how that's going to shake out. I'm not going to deviate from my call that we're going to sweep New England this season. But I think this game in particular is going to be a little ugly, at least until we figure out what Robinson is going to be able to contribute in the backfield. Scott, you made money, yeah? Are you going to make money? You're going to make money betting on the Jets this year instead of betting against them? Come on now, that's what I'm talking about. Give my Let me hold five.
So
Hit me
either
up.
way, he winning money off the Jets. Either
I'm
way.
saying, Scott, hit me up in the messenger. I got a couple of past due bills. It won't be specific. I'm just kidding. Yeah. I almost gave a shout to Kanye, but I'm not doing that. That guy's been wilding out lately. So,
Oh
anyway.
man, yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. Scott,
Don't.
Scott, look, I was always, kind of hoping that you'd make the money. I'm just thankful that it now is betting on the Jets to win. Let's continue to do that. I feel like you being
So,
on that streak is important. I don't want to be the jinx, right?
so in the spirits of Halloween, we're 6 weeks in.
Yeah, man.
Now, are the Jets a treat to watch? Or are they a trick? Are we getting fooled right now with lucky, just quarterbacks, everything? Is it a trick right now we're seeing it? Or are we about, you know what I mean? Or
You know what? I'm gonna say this. It's a little bit of both, right? You're gonna get that pack of Twix, but it's only gonna have one bar in it, right? Like, like
damn.
you feel me? Like this, it's a kind of a trick and a little bit of treat in the same. You're gonna get some of that candy, but it's
Right.
not gonna be. You're not gonna be able to break it off like you're supposed to. Look, um, again, no excuses because when teams were beating us when we had backups, they were still
Right.
chiming in, talking junk against us, and I think this is a kind of an overwhelming sentiment. We play who it is that we play. There's no way for us to play anybody else. So if we come in and your backup quarterback is in and we beat you, your team lost the game. Point blank. Period. These guys get paid just like we do, and nobody was saying any of that when Joe Flacco was throwing 700 times a game and we were losing. They were still talking about the Jets loss. So we're
That's
going to
right.
continue. I believe we're going to continue to win, and I believe that yeah, we're going to have a few more losses before the season's over, but.
Yeah.
It's part of the reason why I stay off Twitter during the games because I don't want to have these knee jerk reactions and meltdowns every time a play doesn't go our way.
So the Jets have been a treat to you, so enjoy it and keep watching it.
Absolutely. Belichick is going to try to force Zach to win, no doubt. And
Oh yeah,
realistically,
which he
Zach
should.
is
That's what he
Zach
should do.
Zach is going to have to step up. I think that if that you know what, and that's not even an if. Zach is going to be the X factor going into New England, and if this guy can't get it together and actually start showing that he's capable of doing what it is that we need for him to do within this offense, it's going to be a long day. I mean, it may actually be a game that we end up, really struggling in at a time when the attitude is changing and we're expecting to maybe have a little bit of a flip and a change in just the overall sentiment and narrative around this team going forward. So I like it. Like I said, I'm gonna say 15-12. I think we pull it out, but it's gonna be an ugly game. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of the Jets Launchpad Pod. You can find us on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. If you haven't already, download the app. You can find that in the Androids and the Google Play Store. Excuse me. You can also find it in the Apple Store. If you have an iPhone, you can find us on Facebook. You can find us on the Worldwide Sports Radio page. You can find us in where else are we at?
We had Jets World, baby.
Jets World.
Let's get it.
That's what I'm talking about. And y'all already know a lot of phenomenal content on Jets World, as
Yes.
well as Worldwide Sports Radio. JR, super producer, getting it in with the guys at Jets Guru over there. I appreciate them guys for their support, and I will continue to support them as well. Again, Worldwide Sports Radio Network. I want to give a shout out to Errol and Speedy. Thank you guys for giving me the platform. JR, thank you for being the beast mode guy that you are and making this show pop the way that it does. My man, hats off to you.
Oh, good, brother.
Please follow us. Again, next Monday we'll be here at 7:30, right before Monday Night Football. Give us a shout. Hopefully we'll be discussing another victory in New England. Another victory Monday, back to back. It's been 4 in a row. Let's make it 5. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for shouting us out. I am your host, Kevin Jackson, a.k.a. Spotty Blackman. We'll see you next week when you come back to the pad. Y'all have a great weekend. Happy Halloween.
Hey, everybody. It's your boy, Kevin Jackson, host of the Launchpad Podcast, here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Happy Halloween.
Can't wait. Let's make sure we play like the New York Jets.